guys, and welcome to the Family Fudge. I'm Jennifer, and today I'm sharing 2 delicious salsa recipes. First up is a quick and easy restaurant-style salsa, followed by a fresh fruit salsa. And I'm gonna be serving my fruit salsa with some cinnamon tortilla chips. So stay tuned. Now before we get started, I just want to give a big thanks to the Allen Booth Company for partnering with me on today's video. Now if you haven't heard of Allen Booth before, definitely check out the website. I will link it down below. But basically they make so many beautiful handcrafted kitchenwares. I'm talking bowls, cutting boards, utensils, and so much more. They were so kind to send me this beautiful handcrafted wood cutting board. And you guys know I love my kitchen gadgets, so thank you, Allen Booth, for doing that. So let's get started. For my restaurant style salsa, I'm gonna start with 2 15-ounce cans of diced tomatoes, and then I have 2 10-ounce cans of Rotel tomatoes. Now these actually have green chilies in there as well, but I'm gonna use the mild. But if you like it spicy, go ahead and use the medium or even the hot. To this I'm gonna be adding about half of this medium-sized onion, and then I'm probably gonna use about 3/4 of this medium-sized jalapeno, but I will go ahead and remove the seeds and the membrane so it's not too spicy. Also about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, but this is to your taste of course, you might want more. And then 1/4 teaspoon of ground cumin. And then last I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup of cilantro leaves, tightly packed. Now for my onion, I'm just gonna give it a rough chop before I put it in my food processor. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, working with a jalapeno scares me just a little bit. You definitely do not want to touch your eyes or your nose while working with one. Now, just like my onion, I'm just gonna give this a rough chop so that when we're done, I'm not left with any big chunks of jalapeno. And I'm just starting with 3/4 of it. I can always add more later, but I can't take it away if it's too spicy. Next comes my lime. I'm gonna start by zesting it. It smells so good. Next up is my garlic. I'm gonna use 2 cloves. And just like everything else, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a rough chop. In it goes, and then the cilantro. Time for my cumin and my salt. And now I'm gonna put the lid on and just pulse it until it's nice and smooth. There it is. It looks so good, but now I have to give it a taste. It is so good, you guys. It's not too salty, not too spicy. It's perfect. Next up is our fruit salsa. Now I really think you could use any combination of fruit here that you prefer, but today I'm going to be using 2 golden delicious apples, 2 kiwis, about 8 ounces of raspberries, and 1 pint of strawberries. Now if your fruit is really sweet and ripe, you may not want to add any additional sweetness to this. But if your fruit is more on the tart side, you're going to want to add maybe a couple tablespoons of honey. You could also use sugar. Time to get choppy. Strawberries are up next. I'm gonna go ahead and save the tops of my strawberries to feed to our chickens. They will love it. Next up are the apples. Now I went ahead and cored both of these apples, and then it's up to you whether you want to leave the skin on or not. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on because number 1, it's easier and faster, and number 2, it adds more fiber to our salsa. So I'm actually gonna cheat a little bit and use my Pampered Chef mandolin to make some thin slices that then I will go ahead and cube up with my knife. If you don't have one of these, you can just go ahead and use a knife for the whole job. Okay friends, now we have our kiwi, our strawberry, and our apple all chopped up, but I'm not gonna add my raspberries yet. I'm gonna hold off on that because I don't want to smush them up when I stir it. The next step is to add your sweetener. Now you could use sugar, I'm gonna be using honey. I'm gonna start with about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of honey. This kiwi is a little bit tart. I definitely don't want a sour fruit salad. So I'm gonna start by adding my honey, and I'm gonna stir it up and then give it a taste and see if I wanna add any more. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little taste. It is so good, you guys. It's the perfect amount of sweetness for me. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my raspberries, and I'm going to very gently stir it up. Now the raspberries will break up a little bit, and that's fine. Okay, so now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and cover it with some plastic wrap and stick it in the fridge while I make my tortillas. Now I'm gonna start with about a dozen corn tortillas. Now generally you're gonna wanna use flour tortillas, but we have a couple of gluten-free members of our family, so I'm gonna be sticking with corn. But if I was making them for me, I would probably use flour. For my cinnamon sugar mixture, I'm just gonna do 1 tablespoon of sugar and then half a tablespoon of cinnamon. And I'm just gonna mix the two together. Now comes the fun part. I'm gonna go ahead and baste each tortilla with a little bit of melted butter. You could also use coconut oil if you prefer. And then on top of each tortilla, I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of my cinnamon sugar mixture. Now you can definitely flip this over and do it on the other side, but I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I'm gonna go ahead and stack them up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stick these in my preheated oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, and I'm definitely gonna make 2 batches of these yummy chips. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what your favorite salsa recipes are. And don't forget to check out allenbooth.com. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.